Kenneth Medley with the Johnson City Press, and I'm here today with Mayor of the town of Jonesborough, Chuck Vest, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. Can you tell me right off the bat, our Fast Five, cat or dog person?
Well, I have a cat, but I love dogs as well. But I have a cat.
And what's your favorite food?
Pizza, by far.
Yeah, makes two of us.
Yeah.
Favorite genre of music?
I tend to like alternative rock or rock and then splash in some country, so kind of diverse there.
And what's the current book you're reading? Or are you reading a book?
Escape to God.
Escape to God.
I read that
by?
quite often. About once a year I try to reread that. A good friend bought that for me, and it's always a good read.
Okay. And what's the current television show or movie series that you're watching? You into that thing?
I've got to watch Voice every week. I like to see people trying to achieve their dreams, so The Voice is my favorite show. Other than that, I'll get on to CNBC and watch The Profit or Shark Tank or something like that.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about your history? Where are you from? Where'd you go to school? Stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I'm from Jonesborough, and went to David Crockett High School and the local Jonesborough school. So that's why this discussion about schools in Jonesborough is important to me. I've went there. My kids all go there. I've had 4 go through the school systems there. But grew up in Jonesborough, did move away for about 20 years pursuing a career in sporting goods. I've lived in Atlanta, lived in Tampa, lived in Charlotte, but there's no place like coming back to Jonesborough.
And can you tell me, were you always interested in politics? Was it something you always saw yourself doing, or did that come later in life? What led you to politics?
No, it probably came later in life. I think growing up playing sports, you always had some type of leadership in you when you play sports and a little bit of competitiveness. I think my father kind of got me involved in that. He was involved in the park and recreation there in Jonesborough with youth little leagues and keeping those sports going there in Jonesborough. So I kind of got involved in that with him through the parks and recs in Jonesborough. But really I remember growing up watching the election of Ronald Reagan, and kind of got involved in that campaign and just saw how politics works and seeing people serve. So that kind of got me interested in doing something of that nature.
Okay, and what has been your expectation versus reality of political life?
It's probably been more enjoyable. Sometimes people say, oh, politics, but I guess if you watch too much TV and you see politics on there, it is kind of backbiting and such. But here locally, we get a chance to serve our friends and neighbors and problem solve, which is something I enjoy doing. So it's really been it's been a blessing.
Okay, and what do you do when you're not working? When you're not Mayor Vest, what are you doing?
Well, I got 4 kids, so they keep me busy, feeding them and keeping the cars on the road. But other than that, I love fitness. I've always been involved in sports, so athletics, and then going to the gym and trying to stay in shape and stay moving. So fitness is probably it. Then otherwise, doing things around the house.
Okay, and what's your vision for the future? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years?
Well, I think I'll still be here in Jonesborough. I'm hoping to do something in the fitness industry for the most part, and getting involved a little bit more in my kids' careers in life. That's kind of my hopes, but really start slowing down here in about 4 or 5 years and concentrating more on my family time than I'm currently doing.
Okay. Well, that concludes the 5 questions.